Hi grade 2 and welcome to week 10 of Writer's Workshop, and I'm so excited to tell you guys that you have finished this unit. So we are going to be having a publishing party soon because you have successfully learned all about writing reviews and writing letters. So normally we would keep this unit going and we would write book recommendations. But since we're already in June, we're going to wrap up this unit so that we can move on to our next unit. And do you think you know what our next unit might be? If you do, comment down below and let me know what you think the next unit is. So for today, we're going to talk about getting ready for our publishing party. Now, our publishing party is of course going to look a little bit different this year, but don't worry, I'm still working hard to come up with a fun and exciting way to celebrate all of your hard work. So without further ado, let's talk about revising and editing. So I just want to bring your attention to the difference between these two things. Okay, so today we're going to be working on both revising and editing. So, but there is a difference. So revising is when you change or add to the ideas. Okay, so you're actually changing what is said in the letter. Either you're adding more or you're taking out and changing the actual content of the letter. So maybe you thought of another paragraph or an extra page, or you decided to take out a part. So that's revising. Editing is when you fix spelling or punctuation or grammar problems. So this would be where you forgot a period, or something was spelled incorrectly, or you want to make a long sentence into two shorter sentences. So that's editing. Editing can be done on a computer. A computer will edit for you, like in Google Docs when it says, "Did you mean?" or it suggests different things. That's editing for you. Okay, computers can't revise because you need to think to revise. So remember that we're doing both today. Editing can also be done by someone else. So I could pass my letter on to someone in my family, like my mom, and she could edit it for me. So that's the difference between those two things for today, okay? So I just want to remind you of what we talked about and how to make our letters longer, stronger, and more convincing. This is what you're going to come back to when you start revising your letters, because you want to revise intentionally. You're not just changing your letter because I told you to change it. You're changing it to make it better. So you're going to come back to these key important things that we said we would do. We would introduce the book, write our opinions. Okay, a lot of you guys have been missing out on this part. You're not just telling me what happens in the book. Okay, that's just a book summary. I'm not interested in that. I could find that online. Someone else got paid to write a book summary. You are writing a letter with your opinions in it. So you need to tell me, what do you think? Does this remind you of something from your own life? Have you ever done something like this? Okay, so you need to be writing your opinion and then give reasons. Why does that make you think of that? Why do you like this book? Why don't you like this book? And when you give reasons, you give evidence. So you say, I think this was really funny because she dropped her sandwich on the second page, and you're saying what happened in the book. Okay, we talked about introductions to the grade 3 work, like paragraphing. So you can try that out. And of course, using those juicy story words. So that really helps show that you understand what you're talking about. Makes you sound like an expert. And those juicy story words are character, setting, plot, chapter, the end page, the title, a side character, an example, and a main character. If you don't know what any of those mean, you can Google it, or you can message me or ask someone at home. All right, so I'm going to show you guys me editing and revising my letter so that you can get an idea of how this might look for yourself, okay? So you guys can't really see that very well, can you? If I bring it closer and put my, let's move these down, and put my letter here. Hopefully that's clear enough for you guys. All right, so I'm going to read my letter to you, and as we go, I'm going to make changes. So I have a different color of pen, and I'm going to edit any problems that I see, and I'm also going to revise. I'm going to think, can I make this any better as I go? And since there's not a lot of room for me to add writing on this page, I have my sticky notes. So if I think of an extra thing I want to say, I'll write it here and put it in to my story that way. Okay, so here we go. Dear grade 2, I can see right away I forgot the date. So I need to, I'm going to write on this with you guys there. I need to include the date. So today is June 1st, 2020. All right, have you ever read, oh my goodness, Miss Roy, she made a lot of problems on this first page. So she forgot to start with a capital. Have you ever read, and she used the wrong kind of red. She said red like the color, R-E-D, but we want red like a story, R-E-A-D. Have you ever read the book, The Good Egg? And the book title goes in quotation marks like this. Oh, and that's a question, so she needs a question mark here. Oh my goodness, lots of editing to do at this first page. I think you would really like it. Now, you know what? I just thought of something else I could say there, because I know that the grade 2s read The Bad Seed, and this book was created by the people who wrote that. So I'm going to say it is created by the author of The Bad Seed. And then I'm going to put that right here. Okay, so I've done some revising. I've added some more ideas. So the main character is a good egg who lives with other selfish eggs. Okay, so I used a good story word there, and I don't see any other misspelling mistakes, so I think we're good. They are selfish because, oh, Miss Roy, you know what? She spelled because wrong. That's okay. Maybe she wasn't sure. Oh, my pen has died. Let's use the green one. E-E-C-A-U-S-E. They are selfish because they only do bad things even when it upsets the good eggs. They break stuff and cry, and don't follow the rules. Now, you know what? This kind of sounds, it sounds like the crying part. I remember in the book that that's not really the point. It's not that they're whining, it's that they're so loud. So I'm going to add, they break stuff and cry loudly and don't follow the rules. That kind of makes it more clear what I'm trying to say. The good egg decides to leave so that he can be healthy. Now, you know what? I switched to what happens in the end so quickly, but I kind of want to talk about what I think the importance of the book is. So I'm going to say, I think this book teaches us the importance of taking care of ourselves. And I want to include that right here, right before I move on. So I'm going to put, I guess I could put that right here, right before this part. All right, the good egg decides to leave so that he can be healthy. Right, and that's kind of like what I said over here. He needs to make time for himself. Oh, this is a good piece of punctuation. This is an exclamation mark. I like that. That's a good one there. In the end, he learns an important lesson. Now, you know what? I just realized I didn't do that whole thing where we don't want to spoil the end. I mean, I didn't tell them what happens, but I really like that sentence of saying, I'm not going to spoil it for you. So I'm going to include that. But I won't spoil it for you. Read for yourself to find out what happens. And I'm going to put that right here before the last sentence. And then I say, I think this book will become one of your favorites. What do you think? Love, Miss Roy. Okay, so I don't see any other spelling errors, but I'm still going to give this to someone else to look at because it might make sense in my brain, but when I pass it on to someone else to look at, they might see some of the mistakes that I didn't catch. So maybe you have an older brother, older sister, a mom, a dad, a grandma, a grandpa, a friend, a neighbor, someone that can look at your story and give you, take like a colored pen to it and edit it for you. They can't change your ideas because that's revising. You're not asking them to revise it. You're just asking for help editing. So that's things like spelling, punctuation, grammar. Okay? So this is going to become my final copy after I pass it to someone else to look at. So I've added more ideas to make it stronger and longer. And I've also edited to make sure that it's written correctly. Of course, this isn't my final copy. I'm gonna have to rewrite it after I'm done making changes so that it's very clearly printed and very nicely written. And then for a publishing party, you need a good picture, a catchy looking picture, I guess. So what I want you guys to do is recreate the cover or the title page of the book that you talk about. So I talked about The Good Egg. Here's the title cover. And I have started making my picture. Ta-da! So, let me take that off. You can see I've started, so I started in pencil to copy what I see on the page. And I'm not drawing what I think I see. I'm really trying to draw exactly what I see where I see it, okay? So this is your guys' challenge, your art challenge, is to do your best with copying the title page. And I want it to be like, see how mine is? It's a full page. It's the same, it's a full piece of paper and it takes up the whole page. I'm not just drawing a tiny part up here. So I want it to be the full page. And this is a good time to practice some of your best drawing skills that we've learned this year, especially with coloring, okay? I'm not done yet. There's so much white on the page. It needs to look exactly like that title page does. And with coloring, remember how we talked about you go one way with the crayon. So you're not gonna start this way and then go this way and then go this way. You're taking the crayon one way the whole time to make nicer coloring marks. And then another trick is do everything in pencil to start and then just kind of lightly erase it. Can you see how I've lightly erased some of the pencil? So that this is the difference here. I didn't erase this pencil when I went over it with marker, and then here I did. Can you see the difference? This one looks much better. So if you just lightly erase the pencil before you go over it with the coloring, it looks a lot better. So those are my tips and tricks. Now, as an adult, all of this work took me still over an hour to do. So this is going to take you guys probably over 2, maybe even 3 hours. I don't want you to sit down and do this all right now. This is to be spread out through the week. So see, even I stopped because I had some other things to do. Maybe I wanted to take a break, and I'm gonna come back to it later. This, your title page, you have 2 weeks to finish this. Your first draft of editing and revising, I want you to be done by the end of the week. So you don't need to have your final copy done. I just want to see the edited and revised version. So if I was handing that in, I would take a picture of this and I would send that in. That's what you're handing in this week. Don't make your final copy yet, okay? All right, well, that's everything from me. If you guys have any questions, of course, you can message me, but good luck working on your final copies of your letters, and I can't wait to see how they look. Bye.